Yo, what is going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again. And today we're here for Zenkaiger, the final episode 49, and this was a very chill kind of episode. It was just the aftermath of them saving everybody and stuff like that. But the episode basically starts off kind of ominous and kind of dark. We see that Kaito does wake up he does wake up at home. Well, and he's having dinner with his mom. He's having he's eating with his mom, dad, Seichan, and grandma. And he's starting to know it starts weird. It's really weird. And he says stuff like it's been a long time since we've all been together like this. And Seichan's like, what are you talking about? We're all like, what are you talking about? We're always together. Stuff like that. So the worlds have really been changed. Everybody has basically been sent back to their own worlds with their memories erased, and they don't know where they are. We only see Kaito's perspective. We only see Kaito's perspective, and that's one thing I was kind of iffy on, because I kind of want to see everybody's perspective. I kind of want to see where everybody else was, when it came down to it. I kind of want to see everybody else was. We basically just see Kaito's perspective, and he kind of just figures out everything pretty quickly. Quickly. So when that happens, he was just like, okay, I got to figure out what's going on. Then he ends up remembering everyone, and when he remembers everyone, he instantly gets ported into his mind, to where he's talking to the god, and the god is posing as him. The guy is taking the form of him, and he's dripped out too. He's wearing all white. He got this white coat and white shirt, white pants. He's just all dripped out, right? And he's talking to him, and he basically explained his whole deal, the whole thing he was doing by, I created all of the worlds, and then eventually I got to the point where it was just too many of them, and then that's when that's when I started helping the Toji Tendo, by him possessing Gigi and stuff. Started helping the Toji Tendo by capturing all these worlds, because he felt like he made too many. So he was like, I'm just gonna put all of them in gears. Thanks to the Toji Tendo, he started putting all of them in gears, and basically just putting them away, putting them away in storage. And yeah, but because at first he didn't want to just destroy them. He didn't just want to destroy them. He just wanted to put them all the way somewhere and just continue making worlds, I guess. So I guess this guy really is a god, because he really created all the worlds. At first I really thought that was kind of a front, but it seems yes, he was able to actually create worlds. Yes, he able to create worlds. So him and Kaito is basically that's not cool. I really don't feel like that's the right thing to do. I really feel you should set everybody free. He's fussing at him, yeah, set everybody free, stuff like that. He say, okay, well, if you can beat me in in a fight or whatever, then that's when maybe I'll free everyone. So he have a one-on-one fight between Kaito and Kaito and God. And what happens is, while they're fighting, he's transporting Kaito to all kinds of different locations. Just about every cut is them in a different location, a different area, and they're going at it really. But we don't see it's not really a super intense fight. It starts off with just two Zenkaizers fighting each other, and we see that that God does turn into Super Zenkaiser, and stuff like that. It wasn't really all that. It wasn't that intense of a fight. I feel since I'm fighting God, I felt it would be a little bit more intense, a little bit more hectic, because at the same time it's this guy's God, so he should be throwing everything at Kaito. He should be throwing he should be throwing maybe small armies and maybe other rangers and stuff like that at Kaito. But it's not really like that. It's just a one-on-one kind of thing with just multiple locations that they were fighting in. No mecha fight in this at all. I really felt we should have probably while he's fighting God, maybe Kaito maybe fights a mecha by himself or something like that. I feel like that fight should have had more. That first fight, they fight twice really, or the second fight really, because I didn't really consider it a fight. But the first one, I felt it should have been more. There should have been more to the fight. I feel like it should have been like a little bit, because like this, you could kind of tell that this god isn't evil. Like he's not like this evil god. He's not like this big evil dude. He's not. You could tell that he's not evil, but at the same time, it's like, do some more stuff, dude. You're God. Like, throw some stuff at me. You know, like like it just felt really weird. But yeah, so we see that while he's fighting Kaito and stuff like that, we see that he ends up they end up at a standstill, which was kind of it ended up at a standstill. And while this is happening, Kaito is in his mind fighting this god, but on the outside, his mom, dad, grandma, and Seichan are seeing him basically talk to himself. Like every time Kaito talks, he'll move like Kaito, but every time the god talks, he'll sit back down. But this is happening in the real world, basically outside of his mind. And the everybody is all like, "What's happening? Like, what's going on here?" And he's talking. They're talking and stuff like that, and they see that he said, "Okay, well, we're gonna have one more fight or whatever, and we're gonna settle this with rock paper scissors." And I was like, "Ah, man, this is classic Zenkaiger, with ending everything with a basically ending everything off with a rock paper scissors match." And it was like, it wasn't 2 out of 3; it was just straight up 1. Like, so he ends up doing the rock paper scissors, and Kaito ends up choosing paper when God chooses rock, and then like that's when Kaito wins. Kaito, they end up talking together again, saying stuff like, the world's he said, "Well, now that I've finally lost, I'll tell you how to free everybody." And also he did talk about like how there were two the only world that's free is Kaito's world. The only world that's free is his world. All the other worlds are inside of gears. So the only world that's free is Kaito's world. And there were two choices. He was gonna either free or destroy Kikaitopia or Kaito's world, and that didn't seem to be the case. He ended up choosing Kaito's world, but their worlds did, inevitably like merge together to a degree. That's why Kikanoids lived with humans. But other than that, this fight was weird. It was very weird, but at the same time, it was still good. But it was still very weird, and I felt like it should have been more. It should have been more like intense to a degree, because I'm fighting God here, so I feel I'm on a one-on-one with God, so it's like, come on, it felt weird. It felt like it should have been more happening during that fight. But we see that after he ends up beating God, God basically tells him how to free everyone. So he takes the Zenkai Cannon. He takes the Zenkai Cannon with him, and he ends up God basically tells him that I used the Kikaitopia, the big gear thing that he used, the big giant like gear thing that was inside the Tochi Tendo base. He ended up using that because it's on top of a tower and it's disguised. So he ends up using the Zenkai Cannon to basically destroy it. After he destroys it, that's where all the gears are. All the gears are inside of it. And he ends up destroying that, and inevitably ends up freeing all the worlds. And that's when everybody comes back. That's why everybody just starts flying out of portals. So we see Zox and Flint, Zox, Flint, Ricky, Katana, the rest of the Zenkaigers. They come through and everything. And like Kaito's like, oh my god, look at everybody's back and everything. And we get a 3 months later. We get a time skip of 3 months later. We see that Kikaitopia has been like starting to like build itself back up. We see that now they have schools for like the Kikanoi kids and things like that. We see that even some of the Kudaks are in on this, and some of the Kudaks are even, are now like in society. Well, the Kikanoi in the Kikanoi society. We see that some of the other Toji Tendo some of the other Toji Tendo grunts there in jail. We see that Stacy's here. Stacy is basically like helping, basically taking care of the world, taking care of Kikaitopia. He's not ruling it. He doesn't want to rule it, but he's basically taking care of Kikaitopia. We see that the rest of the Zenkaigers are basically helping out Kikaitopia in their own way. We also see that now that all the worlds have been freed, you people can now travel to different worlds, like on their own. Like people can travel to different worlds on their own. People can travel, you know, and stuff like that. We actually see other people from other worlds like coming into the main world, coming into the main world, you know, just mingling it up with other people and things like that. And it's actually pretty cool. And they actually give credit. Like society does give credit to Kaito's parents, which is also very nice. So so we actually see Stacy comes in, and you know, grandma does invite him to like move in with them, but he declines because like he wants that place to feel like special, and he also doesn't want to live with Kaito. It was a joke though, but he also talks about how he wants this place to feel special to him, you know, somewhere he can always come back to, but he wants it to feel special. So he humbly like declines the offer and stuff. We also see that a lot of Kikanois do want Stacy to be the ruler. They do want him to be the ruler, but stuff like that. But he said, I don't want to be the ruler, but I still am going to help everyone, you know, and that's really cool. So after everything's all said and done, we see everybody going through stuff, and everybody's happy, and it's a good ending. It's a good happy ending. We see that Kaito talks to his parents and grandma, and they talk to him about, hey, you know, do you want to travel to different worlds on your own? You know, like now that you've been out here doing everything, you know, mom and dad are back home again, everybody's safe, stuff like that. Like, do you want to travel to worlds on your own? And you know, Kaito's like, I don't know. Like he basically is like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna start tomorrow. He's gonna travel to different worlds and stuff like that, and he takes Seichan with him. And turns out the whole crew is going with him. All the Zenkaiger are actually going with him. So also, Ricky and Katana have become humans again. The SD-topia curse thing has been broken, and the two brothers are back to being humans. But also, Flint has created two gears, Flint and Katana gears, and now when Zox uses them, they're able to turn back into their little SD forms, and that's, you know, Zox can still keep his other two forms that he uses and all the Megazord forms, so they can also turn into their SD bodies and their human bodies whenever they want to. And also the family has also decided not to be stealing and stuff like that anymore. They decided to stop being like pirates, you know, stealing stuff. But yeah, and also that's when we see Kaito getting ready to leave. We see the rest of the crew coming with him, and yeah, Kaito kind of breaks the fourth wall a little bit and talks to everyone and says, hey, you all take care of yourselves and stuff. And then that's when everybody leaves just to go travel the multiverse. And yeah, and also the portals to go into other worlds looks different now. It's all big and sparkly, you know, it doesn't look like that big black hole anymore. But yeah, man, this is dope. I did like this ending. I think it was a good ending. A little bit lackluster when it came down to the god fight, but other than that, yeah, I'm good. But also it brings me questions on, in Dawn Brothers, like, is that the Kaito that we see in Dawn Brothers, is that God? Is that him? It most likely probably isn't a possessed Kaito or something like that, or maybe the Dawn Brothers world is a different world. But other than that, like, that world, that new Kaito that we're meeting, the Kaito that we're meeting in there, who is it? Like, I'm thinking it's the God. I'm thinking it's God, and that's why he's kind of different and whatever, you know. That's what I'm thinking is going on. But with that being said, though, this is I'm gonna miss Zenkaiger. I'm gonna miss Zenkaiger, man. Zenkaiger was a very good series. Had its ups and downs, had its moments where it should have been more serious and stuff like that, or when it was just too silly, too much. But other than that, like, this is a good series, man. I'm gonna miss Zenkaiger. I'm not glad it's over. Because I kind of want one more episode of Zenkaiger, but we're still gonna have crossover, you know, specials and movies and stuff. You know, this isn't the last we're gonna see of the Zenkaiger, obviously. But other than that, this is a fun series. I'm gonna miss this series a lot, and I thank you everybody for joining me on this journey. But with that being said, everybody, I'm gonna see you guys next time. What do you guys think of the final episode of Zenkaiger? What do you guys think of Zenkaiger overall? Everything. Just let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. And remember, stay henshined.